All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Friday, September 25th, coming to you guys just after 5 o'clock. We're running probably 20-30 minutes late at this point, but that's technology for you. But ladies and gentlemen, nonetheless, DCF Live, welcome back. So good to see all of your smiling faces. Yeah, this is what happens sometimes when you run one of these shows. There's a million things to check. Audio, video, stream connection, yada, yada, yada. 57 million things before you can actually click go live. So I have an important message here from the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. Papa DeJesus says, Dylan, say Clarissa wanted me to answer your question first. She needed your help. So from the boss himself, I have a question to answer. I'm waiting here for the stream to pop up for me on the iPad, but I believe Clarissa's question was about getting paint on a sock liner. Now, I'm going to assume this is likely an Air Force One or something like that. When you get paint on an Air Force One, it can be a little unforgiving, or Jordan 1, something like that. If we're talking about like an all-white pair. It can be a little unforgiving because if you hit it with acetone, it's really just going to smear, depending on the color and depending on how much paint you actually got on there. If you got a slight little bit of overspray of a light color, you might be able to acetone it out. If you got hand-painted smudge of black on there or something like that, that's definitely not going to come out. So it sort of depends there, but sometimes you could get it out. Sometimes acetone is just going to smear it. Another thing that some people try is using a little bit of bleach, dipping a Q-tip in some bleach. Sometimes that can work. Another thing that can happen there is sometimes with bleach you get that discoloration. So test that in a smaller area somewhere in the shoe where you can sort of see how the material reacts with the bleach first. Maybe more towards the front of the shoe, near the bottom lace holes or something like that. That's definitely an option. And sometimes you are just flat out of luck and you need to incorporate a sock liner color into your design. And yeah, that's the nature of that game, unfortunately. That sometimes you just got to, sometimes you got to now incorporate that into there. So I am not able to get the chat pulled up. It is not popping up on YouTube for me. It looks like you guys are here in the chat. It looks like we're live. Connection is good. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not able to get it pulled up, and I definitely want to be able to see the chat here. For some reason on my YouTube app here on the iPad and on my phone, it's not showing me access to this video. What could that be? Okay, here, this one. I think we're good. Let me see how I can get the chat pulled up here. I have to watch the ads, of course. So we're going to give that about 10 seconds. Don't skip our ads, folks, all right? Help pay those bills. Let's see here. But just so you guys know, we never add, you have the option to add additional ads into your videos. We don't do that. Some people have asked, hey, there's, but when you have a longer video, like reviewing your customs, YouTube automatically inserts those ad breaks. And interestingly enough, their software and all that is smart enough that if you watch an episode of reviewing your customs, it individually goes in and will add a break in between like each of the 4 people. Like somebody, I don't know if a robot could do that at this point or some type of computer, but yeah, they add in those breaks. So I can't see the chat here. This has never happened before as far as me not being able to see the chat. So I'm not too sure what that one is about. Let's see. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Here we go. Yep. Now I got the chat. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully we were able to answer that question, Clarissa. What's it? Yep. Cool. So 101 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Boy, oh boy, the last 7 days was a crazy one for us around here. We had probably our most content heavy producing week ever. We have a big collaboration project that is coming out next week because of contracts, NDAs, yada, yada, yada. I can't speak on it yet. That will be announced Monday. There will be a cool video on it Wednesday. But sometimes when you work with corporations and large businesses like this, you think deadlines of regular people are crazy. Sometimes these are insane, going through the process of mock-ups and getting approval. Sometimes, when you work with corporations, it has to get approved by multiple levels and all this stuff and little tweaks along the way. And so what ended up happening here was, what I can say is there was 5 customizers selected for this project, and everybody had to send in mock-ups about 2 weeks ago. Everybody sent those in. They thought they were good. They finally got higher up through the legal team, and the legal team said, no, there's way too much copyright potential issues as far as with some of the designs that some of these customizers selected. They didn't say specifically whose it was, if it was mine, if it was somebody else's. So everybody had to submit new mock-ups, and then that was approved last Friday. We had to have all these pairs done by Wednesday, along with an insane amount of content, and I'm really, really, really pumped about the content that we put out for this upcoming project. Like we had to do a TikTok for all 5 pairs. We had to, of course, produce Instagram shots. We had to produce some there's some cool stuff to it, and it'll sort of all come out next week. But that's a cool one. But Jason and I are sick of seeing each other after this week, because boy, oh boy, we had, man, I mean, I don't even know how long a day is this week. Every day was like 8 in the morning till, I don't even know, 2 o'clock most days. It was crazy. It was crazy producing stuff, but really pleased with how everything turned out. Feels good after a long week to be here with you guys, chatting it up. I have a cool concept that we are going to do today that was first put into the Discord. If you haven't already joined us over in the Discord, be sure to come over there. It is linked in the description of this video. Just a bunch of people chatting custom shoes all day, every day, and helping each other out, and it's really cool. But the concept is my buddy Costa. Hopefully he's here in the chat. He told me it was going to be, because I made sure to ask him if he was. And let's see. The idea behind it is you post a finished picture of your shoes, and then you let everybody guess how long do you think it took. So he sent in a picture of a pair of Air Forces that he did, and he said, how long do you guys think this took me? And everybody sent in, I think it took 2 hours, I think it took 4 hours, I think it took 8 hours, I think it took 25 hours, whatever the case is. And I sent in my guess, and I broke it down. I think it took you this long to tape, stencil, base color, yada, yada, yada. And it was cool to see who got closest to. I think somebody did get the exact number. So we'll do that. I want to find a way to, I don't know if maybe this should make for a standalone video in the future, or if maybe this is something we do here in DCF Live. We'll just have to find a way to have you guys maybe sort of submit your photos and then us discuss how long everything actually took. And it's funny because as far as my workflow, it's not that often that I'm really only doing one thing at once or working on one pair straight through, because I'm usually working on multiple projects at once. So it's just kind of interesting talking and thinking about sitting down per se and like not standing up, working straight through. Now, I'm not saying Costa did that, but we'll break down his timeline, and I think it's a really cool process. But yeah, I don't work that fast. I'm actually pretty seemingly slow for how long things take me. I look at a project and I think I'd be able to do it in 8 to 10 hours, and it ends up taking 20 plus. Like when I did the Chunky Dunky Jordans on a live stream, I think we went for 10 hours. Was that a 10-hour video? I think so. And I thought I was going to be able to finish that shoe during that stream. Now, granted, I was doing some other stuff during the stream, interacting with the chat and whatnot. I wasn't necessarily laser focused on the shoe, so that might have slowed me down a bit. But that pair ended up taking me at least double that time. And we want to do another one of those. Another one of those streams soon of doing painting a shoe from start to finish on a live stream, something 8 to 10 hours or so. I want to pick a pair that hopefully I can accomplish. I have been sort of waiting for the right order, the right commissioned piece to sort of just come across for me to do. But since I did a leather pair that time, a Jordan 1, I don't necessarily, not that I'm against it, but I'd rather do, rather than just doing another Jordan 1 or another pair of Air Forces, I would prefer to do something like maybe a pair of Vans or something like that. I think would be really cool. Like if I had an order for a pair of the Bape Camel Vans, like I think that would make for a good, live stream for sure. It looks like, let me see this. I just noticed something. Documents. Where's this at? Let's put that. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. The LUT or color grade wasn't on because some stuff got moved around on the computer. But yeah, let's see here. Let me see here. Let me answer some questions, and then we'll look at that. We'll look at that thing from Costa here. So Shallow M says, "What would you recommend for a kid who wants to start customs but doesn't have a lot of funds, a work desk, or supplies? Also, would an airbrush be super loud? Because that would be a problem." Let's see. So a work desk. I started off working at my mom's kitchen table, working at the computer table at my parents' house. Eventually, I was able to get a work desk and a spare bedroom there. But you don't need that much starting out supplies wise. Check out our video called 4 Easy Steps to Starting Your Customizing Journey. That one will help with the breakdown of what I think are the most important supplies. I think it's a $100 budget in that video. And yeah, so nothing too crazy. And then an airbrush. Is an airbrush super loud? An airbrush isn't super loud, but it's not quiet. But I don't know if potentially maybe you have a garage or something that you could put that in. But an airbrush isn't. Is it loud? It can be. It depends on the compressor and setup. I guess just for comparison's sake, I can sort of turn mine on right now. The mic is a little bit further, so it's in the distance. This is sort of my normal talking voice. I'm not going to raise it, so I'll turn on the airbrush compressor, and you can sort of see it up against me. If I apply a little bit of air through the compressor, this is me spraying out the cleaner in there. So this is what an airbrush sounds like, sort of at my normal talking range. I'm a relatively loud person, so consider how loud I sound right now up against the airbrush compressor. And yeah, that is about how loud that is. So, but yeah, I mean, when you're starting out, you don't need that much. Don't let little things like I don't have a work desk or space get in your way of getting out there and creating. You know what I mean? And even if it's not at Shoes First, even if you're doing other forms of art, whatever, just don't let stuff like that hold you back. You can find a way to work around it. Your follow-up here says, also, I want to do those Bape red camel Vans, but I don't have the stencils because I watched the vid yesterday, so I couldn't get the stencils. You know what, Shallow M? Shoot me a email and show me that it's your YouTube page, and I'll hook you up with a set of those stencils, and you can get going on those. We will help you with that, buddy. Let's see here. Super Chat comes in from CW Custom, sends in a sticker with the fist bump. Right back at you, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Let's see here. Crypta Create says, hey, DeJesus, will you do a Halloween competition 2020? Just rewatched the one from your channel for the 3rd time. Well, thank you for that. Checking out that video again. That was a fun one. Definitely one of my favorite videos, the reviewing your customs edition of the Halloween horror pairs, the horror themed contest, our first contest, and then the pair right here where we made the Chucky Air Forces. Will we be doing a Halloween? Will we have a Halloween competition? We will not have a Halloween competition this year, just because there's an endless amount of themes that we could do for competitions and challenges and whatnot. We've done the horror theme, we've done the Halloween contest, the Christmas contest, and the floral contest. Now, I know it's already been a year, which is absolutely mind-blowingly crazy how fast time flies. So it is Halloween time already, so it would be cool to do the horror contest, but because there's so many, there's other ones that we want to do, and so I think that we're ideally going to do another one this year. Also, when we hit the 100K subscribers, rather than having a contest where you guys design the shoes and then we pick the final four and have reviewing your customs, we did the mock-up challenge of where you guys submit mock-ups of any theme. There was no theme to that. And then we try to recreate your designs. That's what we called that. And I think we want to do that again. Maybe we do another one of those this year also, where we have you guys send in mock-ups and we try to bring them to life. That's really cool, sort of reverse engineering what you guys are able to do digitally and try to bring that to life. So yeah, maybe we'll have another regular contest where it turns into a reviewing your customs, a final four. And then it goes into, and then maybe we have another one of those recreating your designs. And speaking of all that, where the entire idea for reviewing your customs even came about, you guys have heard me say a million times, is from a tattoo competition called Ink Master. Now, it was started on a channel called Spike TV. I think 2 or 3 years ago, they rebranded to Paramount Network. They are rebranding again to Paramount Movie Channel, I believe. And unfortunately, after 13 seasons, and I believe 8 years on the air, I think it started in 2012, Ink Master is coming to an end, unfortunately. So hopefully some studio, some network will have a little bit of belief in two fellas in Chicago named Dylan and Jason and let us bring a custom sneaker competition to a network. That'd be really cool. Like some of the ones that you guys have seen that are out there. What were they called? What were the other ones called that were... I'm trying to think of what the competitions were called. I think they were right before everything started this year. Who had one? I know Overtime had one. Serato was a judge on one. And then what was the other one that like Vic and Just Win Customs was on? I can't think of the name of that one off the top. Was it called Sneaker Wars? I think, yeah. And that was from MTV. I think that was an MTV production. But yeah, we want to do something similar. We would ideally want to do something a little bit more long format, not just one-off episodes where it would be, maybe 20 people to start and one by week slowly get eliminated off. I think there's still a lot of room for that style of I think that style of competition still works really well. So yes, let's see here. Let me get these super chats real quick from H&L Kicks. Just wanted to show some love and say what's up. Thank you, fellas. Keep doing your guys' thing over there. Really appreciate your guys' continued support. And then we have another super chat here. Wow, Eddie, thank you so much with the super sticker of "You are amazing." You are amazing, Eddie. Thank you so much for that. And then we have another one here from Pitbull Custom Shoes. Thank you for your tips, Dylan. #moneymakers. Truly appreciate you guys. That means a lot to us, your guys' continued support here. Thank you guys so much for that. There was a couple good questions here. You guys are killing it today. Let me get to some of these. Yeah, there's an interesting balance on a show like this of do I try to hit as many questions as possible, or me, somebody who could talk all day, I try to be thorough and really answer your guys' questions, but then there's that balance of, am I not getting to enough questions? So yeah, it's tough trying to find that balance. So, excuse me one sec. Yes, okay. Jack George here says, Do you use any time management software for any of your projects? And if not, how would you implement this type of system into your workflow? I'm starting to get rushed with many orders. First off, Jack, great problem to have. Congratulations. That means you're doing something right if you're starting to get busy with orders. I think I'm somebody who believes in personality types. I think that you can make changes over time, of course, but I believe I have a personality type that almost thrives in chaos. I guess you could kind of say. I work well when things are busy, and it's almost so busy that it's hard to remember when everything's due, and that's just sort of how I work best. That's not everybody. A lot of people, like my wife, for example, sometimes she just will be helping out with stuff, and just think it's absolutely crazy how I have everything organized. I'm not a very organized person, truth be told. So if there's somebody that I could recommend that you look up, I think I said this on a stream or two ago, but there's a YouTuber called Matt Diavella. I'm going to type that here in the chat. Look him up. He's really good on this type of stuff. He has a Netflix documentary called Minimalism. He's a minimalist. He has a lot of great YouTube videos on productivity, efficiency, all of this type of good stuff that maybe he could really help with. I'm not that person that thrives being incredibly organized. I just sort of work well in chaos. That's just me. I know that absolutely does not work for everybody, but I know some people just sort of really thrive, just kind of head down and working. And I think that's sort of me. So yeah, but check him out, Jack. And congratulations on starting to get rushed with so many orders. That is awesome. That is awesome. Corey Buchanan here says, how are you liking the new airbrush setup? Really good. I'm already due for a new filter. I'm not sure how old that video is. It's probably close to 2 months now. So, with nearly everyday use, it is time. I can already tell it's time for a new filter. So you want to change those. I'm not sure if it says on in the manual or something like that, if it's every month, maybe every 3 months, or sort of just when you notice the paint isn't sort of getting sucked out as easily. So it's time for me to get a new filter. But yes, really enjoying it with the lights, a little bit bigger. Great. Now that we're in football season, I have huge cleats. And just one thing I know I used to always run into, on the little cake display, spinning them as I'm painting them, the cleats would always, the large size 15, 16, 17 cleats that a lot of guys wear would be bumping into the front and back and sides of the booth. So yes. Ron Got Soul here says, how would you suggest shooting a YouTube video with just yourself? What angles do you think work best? Ron, we have a video called what is it called? I think it's called like how to film yourself, or how to film yourself painting shoes, something like that. It's probably about 3-4 months old. And we just sort of walk through some of the angles you want to use, some of the potential gear. It's really just about starting and figuring it out as you go. Obviously at this point we've sort of accumulated a lot of gear for certain things we're trying to do. We didn't have that when we started. We didn't even have a tripod. You know what I mean? We didn't have as good of a camera as we do now. We just picked up all this stuff over time, slowly started adding to the collection. And, but we walk through some of the gear that we use. And, but I mean, you can do good stuff. Like if you guys haven't already, I haven't seen him pop up here in the chat. Make sure you guys check out Repsy Banks. He has a YouTube channel, started that. And he has, I think, 3 videos up, and he's doing it all with iPhone only. Not even using a DSLR. Not even sure if he's using a tripod or anything, or if he's doing everything handheld. But you can do a lot of stuff. Heiza Makwana says, man, I love that shirt Dylan is wearing. Gift from Angelus. Yes, Angelus just sent me 2 new ones. They sent me my favorite color to paint, yellow, and then they sent me a duller one. And yes, my favorite color to paint, yellow. If you guys haven't already, in yesterday's video, it's just a Q&A video because we had a crazy week. We didn't have enough time to do any other style or video, anything, because of the large project that I mentioned in the beginning that we were working on. So we had to do something kind of light and easy, Q&A. And we're giving away a paint kit, which is the 12 1-ounce bottles. My favorite 12 colors for starting out. So some people asked. We could walk through those. Black, beige, white, tangerine, chocolate, sapphire, gift box blue, red, violet, salmon, mint, and green. And yeah, how many comments are on that video already? It's absolutely crazy. I was super impressed how many people. So all you had to do to enter into the giveaway for this was comment your favorite color from Angelus. And let's see, how many comments is that video at? 658 comments. Crazy. And especially considering the video, it's just a Q&A. It doesn't have as many views if we put out, something else. 658 comments already. Wow, absolutely crazy. I haven't been able to scroll through all of them, but thankfully I haven't seen anybody say that their favorite color to paint is yellow. Interestingly enough, sort of what I've noticed as they've sort of popped up here and there is a lot of the comments have been that some of your guys' favorite colors to paint are some ones from the collector edition line that you can only pick up in the 1-ounce colors. And a lot of those, truth be told, are colors that I've never even used. Like, I've never even used the Joker green, that one. There was a couple other ones that I haven't used before. Is there maybe a mint Yeezy color or something like that? Or something, just a Yeezy color that's close to the mint? Some people have said some stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I haven't even used any of those. Because over the years, I've really just purchased, I've tried to, certainly be more, drawing a blank for the word, but buying all my paints in quarts and gallons and pints rather than buying in smaller quantities to save money. Okay, so here we have from my main man Justin says, real talk, another customizer is worried they should be adding a partner to help them with orders. At what point do you suggest doing that, or is time management better to start? Great question. My proposal there is, because I've had a lot of, in my 8 years or so, I've had a lot of people help out this business in a lot of different ways, and never once have I believe I've always tried to make this message come across, that this has never been, never will be a one-person show. Even if I happen to be the guy here yapping to you guys on camera, there is a lot of people who put in a lot of work behind the scenes to make this thing run. I just happen to be the one here yapping to you right now. But starting out, when the business very first started and still here, my younger brother Daniel helps all the time, specifically with prepping. Daniel preps 100% of shoes that come through here, unless I'm doing a tutorial or I have a super rush job that I have to get done in a matter of hours or anything like that. Daniel handles all of our prep work. Jason handles producing 99% of the content. Brittany, my wife, helps a million ways imaginable, helping with stencils, paint, keeping everything running smoothly. My mom has helped with a lot of painting over the years. I've had a business partner for 3 years who helped with a lot of different things, who did painting and whatnot. So I've had a lot of people help in a lot of different ways, and one of the hardest ways, I think, to get help is with painting, because as you start to develop a style, it's sort of hard to replicate your style. Get help in areas that you... How do I best want to say this? I think it's a really smart idea to it's very wise to say you need help, / ask for help, / hand off task. That is very wise. You have to do that. It's very hard to do everything yourself. So the best way for me to put this is, where will you get the maximum? If you're getting help, what's going to be the best thing for your business for growth? Could it potentially be somebody running ad campaigns? Could it potentially be somebody helping out with content production, whether it be photography, videography? Could it be somebody helping you out, just sort of keep the business organized, running everything on the back end so you're able to just work on the painting and stuff? It's really hard to get help with the painting, in my opinion, especially if you have a high level of quality control, because as you get really good at the painting, it's hard to match your level of quality. That, to me, is one of the hardest things to do. So could you potentially get somebody to help you out with some of those other things that I mentioned? Specifically, what a lot of people struggle with is content production. And like I said, I've had a lot of people help in a lot of different ways over the years. But having Jason specifically really do his thing with the content, helping produce this YouTube channel, is just an absolutely ginormous factor. So, I mean, even if you took a Gary Vee approach and practically had somebody film you all day and produce content around it, that might be better than having them, you can now knock out 5 shoes a week instead of 3 or something like that. It might be better off for you in the long run producing all that content and drawing in more orders, increasing your sort of the value, your in-demandness as a customizer. If you're constantly sort of in people's feeds, if you start to become more in demand, then you can start to rise prices, all those things. I think that's something that would really help a lot of people. Yeah, I'm going to come out and say that, yeah, the more, I don't need to talk, I don't need to convince myself of it, but as I start to just say it more, I really think that's the best thing that people could get help with. Somebody just helping produce more content for you. Yeah. Yep. That is what I think. Get somebody to help you with your content production. Yes, let's see. Okay, I am way behind in the chat. That was a question from like 17 minutes ago, but I'm trying to be thorough. Try to be thorough. Let's see. Yes. Hector Lopez here says, "Hey, Dylan, how do we send you a pair of shoes for you to review? Also, do you send them back? Because I want to keep my first pair as a reminder of where I started." Very cool, Hector. Congratulations on doing your first pair. I wish I still had my first pair. That would be very cool to see. I sold them on eBay. Do we send them back? We sure do. We just use them for the YouTube video to review them, and then we send them back. We try to announce on Instagram and here on YouTube when we have openings for reviews. So when we're doing a new episode of, we try to announce when we have openings for, hey, reviewing your customs episode number whatever, and there's a theme, or maybe it's a first timers episode, and then that's when we'll open up the email address to send it to, and things like that. Yeah, so stay locked in. Follow us on Instagram. And, yep. That is, that is the spiel behind reviewing your customs. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we got to do that, Costa thing and check out how long that pair took. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to show you guys a picture here, and then I want you to comment how long you think it took to finish these shoes, start to finish. Did it take 2 hours? Did it take 20 hours? Did it take 10 hours? Did it take 12 hours? What do you think? And start to think about it. Start to think about it. Let's see. And then this is a really cool idea, because this can help people sort of start to factor in how to price their artwork. You know what I mean? Something may look simple, like this pair, it only has, you could say it's a 2-color custom. And you might think, hey, that looks simple. Maybe I should only charge $50 for that, or whatever the case may be. But Costa does clean work, and there's no way this is a $50 custom. So let's see here. There we go. Okay. So here we have a pair of Air Forces. Costa, let me know this. I finished last night for a coffee brand releasing a new line of coffee. So this is for a coffee company that reached out to Costa and had a pair from him. If you guys aren't already, make sure you go ahead and follow Costa on Instagram. I will post his Instagram name here in the chat. I believe it's K1. I think it's the same as his Discord name. Pooh. There we go. Okay, yes. So let me know how long you think these took, and then we will go ahead and break it down. Do you think this was a 8-hour job? Do you think it was a 4-hour job? Do you think it was a 20-hour job? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Oh boy, a little bit parched today. Okay, I see some answers rolling in. We got some good ones. Some people may have been in the Discord and already seen this one. Let's see. Okay, yes, we got a lot of good answers here rolling in. KR314 King Ragnar 314 Creations, that is a long username, says, I don't think you're allowed to answer my question because of Angelus paints. Can you use normal acrylic with Too Soft on fabric trainers to save the leather paint for leather trainers? So truth be told, I can answer your question. I'm not contractually obligated to never use any other paints. I do. I have Jacquard paints. I enjoy Jacquard paints. I truly do believe I have been using Angelus paints way, way, way before they sponsored me. That is something that I definitely always want to reign true here on this channel, that you guys are, that's what this channel has always been. It's just been about me telling you guys about the products that I actually use, not just trying to sell you guys on something. That's never what this channel has been. And yeah, you know, there's no exclusivity to the deal of, you know, I'm not allowed to use any other paints or talk about any other paints, advertise any other paints, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So yes, can you use normal acrylic with Too Soft on fabric trainers? I don't necessarily think that's recommended because regular acrylic paints are just a lot thicker, and even if you mix them with Too Soft, now you're sort of mixing together different brands, different paints that weren't necessarily, or different mediums that weren't necessarily made to be mixed together. That's not the most ideal. And even a lot of fabric paints aren't even that good and wouldn't even work that well on fabric trainers. So I would not necessarily recommend that. I get the idea behind it, but I think that it just, you still wouldn't end up with the best results. So I would recommend sticking with, you know, Angelus paint in some type of fabric medium, whether it be Too Soft or GAC 900. So yeah, let's see here. Yes, now I am going to give you my breakdown of, let me click away here just so I don't give away the answer. Make sure I go to the, yep, okay, cool. Here's my guess on that pair. My guess was, I said, here's my guess, 10 hours. I think it takes about 3/4 of an hour for prep. I think it takes about 2 hours to do that orange. I think it takes about 2 hours to do that purple drip. I think it takes about an hour to make the stencils, cutting them. I think it takes another hour and a half to do laying and painting of the stencils. And then I think it takes an hour and a half for touch-ups of the shoe and stencils. And then I added a shit happens buffer zone of 1 hour. And if you've ever been customizing long enough, you know really dang well that you need that shit happens buffer zone, because shit happens. And sometimes the last thing that you could ever imagine happens whether it be, you know, some of your tape pulled up paint, or you have a bunch of residue left behind on your midsole, or you were painting a logo and the brush fell out of your hand and you got purple on a orange surface, whatever the case may be. So now that was my answer, 10 hours, and here is the final answer. Final answer is 15 hours. It says acetone and sanding prep work took about 3/4 of an hour. I was right on that one. Taping took 2 hours. Photoshop artwork, stencil cutting and laying, 1 hour. Chili red took 3 hours. I thought it was actually an orange, but I guess it was a chili red. Untaping and retaping for the next color, 1 hour. Grape 5 took 3 hours. The drip swoosh. Untaping took a half hour. Touch-ups, 1 hour. Clear coat, half hour. Photo shoot, 5 hours. So you could decide if you want to account for the photo shoot. It says, I had a lot of trouble laying the colors because I did not do the white mixed base coat and build my color up. I did not think the red needed it, but my surprise, lots of time went into that. I quoted my customer around 8 hours, and overall it took me 15 hours. But he says that those 15 hours is 100% my mistake, but this is what we're here for, to learn. So yeah, it's all about being a learning experience. Here's the shoe again. I thought that chili red was an orange. In this photo, it certainly looks like an orange. But anyways, yeah, sometimes that happens. And that may look like a relatively simple design, just a couple colors. But yeah, so it seems like you did that all. You did a lot of airbrushing to do all of that taping and untaping, sounds like. So yeah, I think this is a cool idea, something that I think maybe we should do more. Maybe we have people somehow send in their designs with a breakdown of how long everything took, and we can have everybody in the chat guess how long we think that design took. And then I think that these are things that'll sort of help you get better at pricing your artwork as you start to get a feel for how long things take and stuff like that. So Mario, hopefully I said that right. So Mario Brooks says, do you buy shoes wholesale and have them on hand, or do you guys buy them every time you get an order? The major issue with trying to get shoes wholesale is, first off, it's really hard to get a lot of the common base shoes such as Jordan 1s or Air Force 1s for wholesale pricing. Sometimes some people are able to get that swoosh discount, a couple other things, but even so, the major issue with that is there is such a wide range of sizes. Even if we look at men's sizes, which I believe start at 7.5, all the way up to sort of where a lot of people start to consider them a little bit more rare because they're so big, harder sizes to find, maybe 12 or 13. But you have 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 11, 11.5, 12. It's 10 sizes right there. So you may get one order, but it's hard to keep all of those sizes in stock. So yeah, it's just really hard because there's so many sizes and whatnot to keep things like that in stock. So really hard to do. I guess I wouldn't knock anybody for trying or say it's impossible, but I have always just bought them as the customer purchases. Yep. Momo Adu says, when is the next DCF custom school? Does that include airfare and hotel? No, that price does not include airfare and hotel because everybody is coming from different places all around the world. Everybody stays at different hotels and whatnot. But yeah, we do plan on having those back in early 2021. Yeah, we hope to have around 4 next year. Anthony M says, most common shoe size for men and women. The most common shoe size for men is either a 10 or 10.5. I know I've looked that up, and it's a really, really large percentage is right around there, 10, 10.5. So yep, let's see. Ramon Mendoza says, my airbrush needle bent on the stop, but the liquid still flow through, but is it bad that it's bent? The only issue that you would run into with that is you'd probably still be fine for base coats, general airbrushing like that. But if you were trying to do something maybe incredibly detailed or really fine line airbrushing, that's where it may be a little bit harder to do with a bent airbrush needle. Yep. Let's see here. Camely Ruby says, if I were to do a design that overlaps the swoosh, how would I cover the gray prepped areas that the design does not cover? Would I paint over with white paint? I want to start tomorrow. So if you have areas of the shoe that you do not plan on painting at all, I would not prep those. So let's say, for example, this was an all-white Air Force One, and let's say you're doing something over the swoosh and some of the other panels. I would sketch that out, draw it in where you're going to be doing the design. You don't even have to put in all the details, just the larger outline, the silhouette of whatever it is you're doing. Maybe tape it off or just keep the pencil lines and then go ahead and do the prep work inside of where you're actually going to be painting. That is how I would go about doing it. Yep. But yeah, Momo Deuce follows up with, nervous to start my first pair. Any tips? Just get after it. The first pair, it doesn't have to be great. It's okay to not be great. It's just more important to get started. That is definitely the most important step. And just have fun with it. You know what I mean? Just have fun and produce a bunch of content around it. Film yourself doing it. It's great to have that memory. Take a bunch of progress photos. And then have yourself a little photo shoot with them after, pat yourself on the back, and it feels good to have your first one done. So yeah, you don't have to try to compare yourself to somebody that's been doing it a lot longer, or maybe somebody who has somebody else starting out. Don't worry about comparing yourself to everybody else. Just get started. That is absolutely the most important thing, and you will absolutely just get better as you go. Let's see. Ooh, Hamza says, if you had 3 colors to use for a custom, what would it be? Wow, that's a good one. Only 3 colors. I only have 3 colors. I'm going to say red, purple, and orange. I could do a lot of stuff with that. If I only had 3, I'm picking red, purple, and orange. Yep, I could do a lot with that. And maybe you'll let me use a little bit of white or black in there too. But I think those would be my 3. That's a good one though. That is a good one. Let's see here. Sam Basler says, thoughts on heat press customs. My thoughts on heat press customs. Whatever floats your boat, I suppose. It's not, for me, it's not something I would want to do because I want to, I just want to prove that I can do it artistically. Even, for example, portraits and things like that, I absolutely was not good with them. It's not something that I ever felt confident in the past. But now I certainly feel a lot better after practicing them nonstop for a month. So yeah, it's a shortcut. It's just not what there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay, and there's a market for it. You know what I mean? But it's not the same as purchasing a piece that's hand painted. So yeah, I don't feel the need to bash it and say that it shouldn't exist, or anybody who does it they're not a real artist, or some things like that you'll hear. That's okay, and a lot of people are doing combinations of it where they're still doing a lot of painted parts. And then doing that type of stuff, the heat press stuff with logos or characters, or I just think you need to be transparent about it. You know what I mean? Just say what it is, tell it like it is, and because I think a lot of people may think it's hand painted, and yeah, I think that it's at the point where functionality wise it works and holds too. It's not necessarily just like a sticker that's going to come right off. So yeah, yep. Alexander here says material for reusable stencils. Those are made from Mylar. Camley Ruby says, how can I do a Gucci design without a stencil? That's tough. Anytime you have one of those designer prints. Designer prints, yeah, just because they're so intricate and there's such a specific pattern that quickly becomes a little wonky looking when it's not done precise. It's tough to do those without stencils. Yeah, that's tough. Yep. Momo Deuce follows up. Is there any way to get the paint kit from the school without going? Can you send me one or can I buy it? That is, no, that is our goal, is for anybody who comes to the course to just get absolutely wowed with what they get when it comes to everything that's in front of them, the shoes that come with it, the box that has way more than just paint, all of the supplies that we hooked them up with. I wanted the goal absolutely to be, no matter what, you certainly feel you got a lot of value from the course with everything that you take home. So yeah. Channelism says, I want to customize Air Jordan 11 cleats. What do you think about painting the piano black surface? Assuming you're talking about the patent leather is not going to hold up no matter what that you paint on it. So what do you think about painting on the piano black surface? I'm assuming you're talking about the patent leather. Correct me if I'm wrong, but piano black surface, I've never heard it said that way. Maybe just because it's a glossy look. But yeah, patent leather paint's not going to bond to it. So especially because it's cleat, so it's going to come off pretty quickly. Yeah. Hector Lopez says, who is your Super Bowl prediction, Dylan? Ooh, okay. Until somebody, with the way that how good this kid is, I mean, he might be revolutionary. So somebody has to prove they can beat Mahomes. You know what I mean? Of course, Lamar's coming for it. They look good. There's a lot of Russell Wilson MVP train hype going on right now. That's a crazy division. There's a lot of good teams in that division. What is that? The NFC West with Seattle, the Cardinals, 49ers, the Rams. Everybody's good there. It's a bloodbath of a division to have to play all those teams twice. Seahawks are always good. They got a really good secondary with our buddy Quandre Diggs, a weekly regular of us for many years now, and Jamal Adams. Yeah, I mean, Seattle's, they're going to have a good playoff. They're going to make the playoffs every year, seemingly, for this whole Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson era. So, but yeah, there's a lot of injuries already too this year. I mean, oh my goodness, a lot of talent went down week 2. So it's hard to say with that. But I think if I had to put money on somebody, it would be the Chiefs this year. Definitely. But yeah, oh boy, yeah, Seattle and that like I said, that Russell Wilson hype train. Can I see anybody else? I mean, yeah. Oh boy, if I had to right now, I would say Seattle versus the Chiefs. It's early, it's week 2, hard to say. But if I had to say somebody right now, that's who I'm going with. Let's see. Dwayne Lee says, what software do you use to edit YouTube videos? We use Premiere Pro. I'm not sure if Max, it's an Apple software. I'm not sure if they come with it or if it's still a paid software also. But that would be Final Cut Pro. Pretty similar. If you guys want my honest, truth be told reservations, I try to give you guys as many methods to do things for as low cost as possible. If there's anything to spend money on, it's the Adobe suite. So you have Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, all of the programs, because we use them all nonstop every single day, and they are just the best programs to work with for all of your content production. Daniel says, Dylan, did you customize Nelly's Black Cement 3 dance heels on Dancing with the Stars? I got to pull those up, Daniel. We got to let the chat see those. Yeah, those were hilarious when I saw those. Where are they at here? Oh man, that's good stuff. Let's get the good pictures here. They got some good close-ups for me or what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so he had these that wasn't letting me zoom in. So yeah, you can see I'm here with the back tab. That is funny stuff. Nelly had black cement 3 dance shoes on Dancing with the Stars. That is too funny, man. That is too funny. But Nelly, you would expect to be rocking the Air Force Ones. Come on. Antonio Gutierrez says, not art related, but how far do you think Chelsea are going to make it this year? My boys in blue, it depends on how well all of these new faces mesh together. Finally, we announced yesterday the signing of Mendy, that we no longer have to deal with Kepa, who has already cost us a bit in the first 2 games of the Premier League. We had a great thrashing in the, we kicked some butt in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. A good old 6-0 win with Kai Havertz scoring his first senior hat trick. That was awesome. So yeah, we just, we're still waiting to see Hakeem Ziyech running on that right flank, along with my buddy Captain America, Christian Pulisic, killing it on the left flank. I can't wait to see those guys going, along with Timo Werner's pace. We got Thiago Silva on that back line now, veteran leader. Yeah, I mean, they're an exciting team, but it's a very, very different team. They signed a lot of new players, so it depends how well all those guys mesh together. Of course, can everybody stay healthy? But man, what a transfer window! So really excited to see all those new faces together. I mean, I think last week they had a good challenge going up against the champs, going up against Liverpool, and they got their butts beat. You know what I mean? And Liverpool is a great team. They have incredible continuity over the past few seasons. I mean, those top 3 up front, talk about chemistry. Those guys been together. They've been through a lot. Champions League winners, Premier League winners. That's a squad over there. So, but yeah, really confident in the signings. Really excited that the seasons. Thankfully, there was practically no break because of everything that happened. There was almost no. There was like a month off of no Premier League action. So it's good to have that back. Okay, let's see here. Fireshot says, how do you clean and take care of brushes? My broke college ass can't afford to buy new Angelus brushes often. Also, can I make a reservation for the course at all? Also, Skull Vikings. Are the Vikings 0-2? Or are they 1-1? But I think they lost to the Packers week 1. I think they lost last week too. I think they had a rough start. And I'm glad I don't have to root for Kirk Cousins, but I also have to root for Mitch Trubisky, unfortunately. But hey, somehow the Bears are 2-0, the least likely 2-0 team imaginable. The Bears aren't very good, guys. But let me see. As far as taking care of brushes, what I do, it's going to be hard to see because the water is a little muddy, but I just have this old cup, little spaghetti sauce cup action, and at the bottom, I have a sponge upside down, so the soft side of the sponge is facing up, and rather than, the bristles just going and hitting the bottom of the cup, I just have a sponge there that I will wipe all the paint off, the excess paint, and then try to clean it off with a rag also. This is all I do. I'm not the best when it comes to brush maintenance, brush preservation. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube for things like that, but that's all I do, and the brushes will still last for years. So yeah, if you want, completely clean them after each use, leave them to dry horizontally, and they will last a lot longer if you actually thoroughly clean them. So yeah. Hunter M. Elliott says, what designs would you recommend for someone doing their first custom? What I recommend doing is taking inspiration from collaborations and other lines that have already been done. So a thing that I'll always recommend is taking like an Air Force One and trying to recreate a Nike SB colorway on it or something like that. Maybe you like the Nike SB Tiffany's or the De La Souls or the Nike SB Paris's or something like that. That is what I recommend doing for some first designs because they translate well over. Dwayne says, I purchased Lightroom and Photoshop for $10 monthly. You suggest the bigger package. Yes, if you're going to get into video editing, you would want Premiere. I'm not sure. That might bump it up. It might be $30 a month with that. It might be $20 for all of those. Potentially, you might use Illustrator for some things design-wise. I don't use Illustrator at all. I hate Illustrator, but I'm not a graphic designer or anything like that. But yes, for Premiere Pro, it is worth it. Premiere Pro is our favorite editing software. So yes, I would upgrade that package. And then there's other programs. They have Adobe Audition, which is what a lot of people use to edit podcast. That's where you would essentially do sound or audio editing. Yeah. Yep. Shanalism X says, what is your favorite NBA team? I am a Bulls fan. The Bulls have sucked they've been in the Dweller for, is it the last this is our 4th year in the lottery? Yeah, because we had the number 7 pick 3 years in a row. We have the lottery again. So yeah, they've been bad for really, really, really bad for 4 years. But during the Derrick Rose era from 2010 to 2000, not because I didn't watch every single game his rookie season, but after that, his MVP season until they lost to LeBron and the Cavs in the second round of 2015 when they were up 2-1. They almost went up 3-1 in the series, but LeBron hit that 3 in the corner. That was the series when Derrick Rose hit that 3 to win Game 3. And then did the no emotion jump up. That was awesome. I watched every single game, all 82, all of the playoffs, every single game. I would stop working and watch every single game. I followed that team religiously, man. It was, what an era. What an era. And then it all went to poop once Derek left that year with Dwayne Wade and Rondo was an odd team. Obviously, they weren't really in the mix for. That was the Warriors. That was 2016. So yeah, the 2016 Warriors were next. Well, no, that was the year the Warriors lost. 2016 was the year they lost to the Cavs. But yeah. Yeah, man, that era for the Bulls. But yeah, that is my favorite NBA team. I wish I had more hope for them right now. New coach, I'm down with Billy Donovan as the coach. I had a great track record in college. Oklahoma was good this year, and nobody expected them to be good. I'm down with Billy Donovan. Joakim Noah vouches for him. That Florida team with Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer, and Al Horford was really good. I'm down for them to bring Joakim Noah back, hang out at the end of the bench, just be a veteran in the locker and on the team, and throw Joakim on the court whenever he can, because I don't know how much gas he has left in the tank. But Joakim Noah will definitely be one of my all-time favorite players. So yeah, Fireshot says they're an 0-2 salad. Yeah, Vikings. Yeah, that some people were saying Bill Simmons, who I like to listen to, his podcast for Sports Talk, was saying he thought the Lions were going to come out of the NFC North, and my goodness, I don't think so. I don't think the Lions are coming out of the NFC North anymore. Sean says, can you show off the shoes behind you? Which one, Sean? Is there a pair behind me? I don't know if you're talking, the Chuckies are in front of me. The other, if I showed something behind me, the only other pair is there's a box of the, there's Yeezy box, but there's no Yeezy shoes in there. I don't know if you meant the Chucky shoes, but this is one of my all-time favorite pairs, these Chucky shoes. What I did was have the sweater on the toe box. I did the Chucky's signature weapon, his knife, on the swoosh. Did the orange from the hair on the sock liner, and then the blue denim sort of look was the, his overalls was on some of these other panels. Love these. I definitely want to do, I don't have any orders for them right now, but I want to do another, definitely want to do a cool horror themed shoe for this Halloween. Haven't decided who I want to do. But yeah, this project that is coming out next week, I was slated to do a Freddy vs. Jason pair that I was really, 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 really pumped about. Because basically the project is sort of based around different eras over the last certain number of years. We were sort of given a year and then pick something from that year. So I had 03 and I was going to do Freddy vs. Jason. That was when that movie came out. And obviously the Freddy shoe is one of the most iconic Nike SB shoes of all time. So I thought that would be really cool. But that theme, that maybe something like that, even though it's not like I threw the characters' faces or anything like that, or any of the logos from A Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th on the shoes, anything like that, they might have been worried about the copyright issue for that, because I think that's why the Nike SB shoes never released, was because of some copyright stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, it does say, Sean says, yeah, the Chucky shoes, and then we did the liquid latex. It's probably not going to autofocus, but to try to bring some of those skin rips to life. And I just love how that turned out. It's just so nasty and unpleasant looking, like Chucky and some of the later Child's Play sequels. Just how grungy it looks. And yeah, I just think this pair is something that sort of is just right up my alley, of just creating something nasty and grungy looking, but still just really cool at the same time. Halloween, maybe an Insidious theme. Yeah, that red Darth Maul looking guy from Insidious would be cool. Insidious is one of my favorite horror movies from past 10 years. Yeah, Insidious. The first Insidious was 2010. That was a good one. Diego Mosqueda says, will there be a virtual course? That would be amazing. There will not be a virtual course. So the first DCF experience, which we announced we opened up reservations in January. That was supposed to be April 18th and 19th. There's 20 people. We had half of them come to the in-person one. The other half weren't able to come because of COVID. So with all of them, we are going to be doing a virtual one. Some of them said, hey, you know what? I don't even care about the virtual one. I'm coming to the DCF experience in the future. So don't worry about me. I'm in no rush. I'm coming to the in-person one. But for everybody else, just because of everything going on, we have to try to accommodate everything sort of possible. We decided that we're going to be doing a virtual one for them. But just after doing it, I know what the experience I want to provide is absolutely the in-person experience. And being able to literally go up and show you with my own hands, or help you with your own hands, how to do something. It is absolutely, that is absolutely where it is moving forward, a in-person event. As far as online school, virtual course, anything like that, where I can best provide value through that is through our YouTube videos. That's always going to continue to be this our channels. We're just going to continue to put out content around teaching and things like that. So yeah, definitely. As far as anything virtual, that would be us just trying to put out as much content here on YouTube to teach as many tutorials as possible. And since we have, we're probably getting close to nearly 200 videos. There's a lot of stuff you can learn from our channel. Yep. Shane Elizabeth says, same here, Insidious favorite. Yeah, if there was another one of my... is Insidious my favorite horror movie over the past 10 years? One of them. Another one, I think I like the first Sinister more. that's just a really good dark movie that has some really cool elements. The downfall is that it has too many of the jump scares that have become very mainstream over the past 10 years. But Get Out was a great one. So yeah, Sinister, Insidious, Get Out, some good ones. Halloween 2018. Yeah. Adam Starr says, do you like Steph Curry, James Harden, LeBron James? We are in a spoiled era of how many great basketball players there are right now. I mean, the talent is absolutely crazy. I mean, yeah, do I like Steph Curry? I mean, yeah, Steph Curry changed basketball. Basketball is different now because of and James Harden too. I mean, if you're just able to look at charts of how many 3-pointers we're taking compared to different eras. I mean, take a look at how many 3-pointers Michael Jordan shot in his career. I can't say this for a fact, but I imagine Steph Curry has shot more in a season than Michael Jordan did in his entire career. I would probably almost guess that. And how many years was MJ's career? 15, 03. So from 85 to 03, 18 years with how many seasons off? 3 to 4 years off. So MJ maybe played 14 years. Yeah, and I would probably bet Steph Curry probably shot more in one season than Mike did in his whole career. Yeah. Michael Jordan versus LeBron James 1-on-1. I'm taking Mike. I mean, I know LeBron's bigger and but it's not like LeBron's just going to be, even though he's bigger and stronger, he's not even backing down. It's not like he's just going to be able to back down Mike, even though he has 3 inches on him and probably 30 pounds, maybe even more. Yeah, I'm taking Mike. I'm taking Mike in that one. Daniel says it's not even close. You're right on the Steph shots. Yeah, I mean, Steph, after how many years has Steph been in the league? I think Steph is in the 09 draft. Yeah, because Derek was in the 08 draft. So Steph, just over 10 years, and he's already not far off from breaking the 3-pointer record, which was held by Reggie and Ray, who had long careers. Reggie and Ray probably both played 15 to 18 years, if I had to guess, and Steph is just going to demolish that. So, Aldo says, how do you use Angelus Too Hard? So Too Hard is for non-porous materials like plastics. If you're painting the back tab of a Jordan 3, that's the best. That's the area where I most recommend an additive like Too Hard. But the thing that I really say as a general rule of thumb, if you're considering using Too Hard, you're probably painting a material that you shouldn't paint. Truth be told, you shouldn't paint the back tab on a Jordan 3. That area, no matter what additive you use, no matter what paint you use, is a lot more likely to crack than just a painted leather surface. So, yeah. Yeah, so I don't use Too Hard often because I try not to paint any materials that I shouldn't be painting, like back tabs, plastics, and things like that. So yeah, can you CTF Life says, can you make more of those background type stencils? We do plan on having September 25 now, maybe. We do plan on having a bunch more soon in the not too distant future. Yes, we do. Some questions about Posca. I don't recommend them, guys. You'll never hear me say it's a good idea to use Posca or markers, unfortunately. Yep. Winchester says, do you still use Angelus matte finish when using Krylon, or Krylon is enough for top coat? My favorite finisher is the Liquid Kicks matte finisher. Yeah, I have... I don't even use the Angelus matte finisher or really the Krylon anymore because that Liquid Kicks is so good. that Liquid Kicks is the truth. But if you're just using a finisher for a, let's say you did maybe a fabric shoe or something like that, you could still use the Liquid Kicks, but maybe you want to use the Krylon matte spray there. But yeah. All right, guys, we'll go another 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes or so for this episode of DCF Live. I worked on, man, this was one of the most, this logo took me, let me pull it up here. Let me airdrop it to myself from the computer. This logo, guys, this thing took me a good, how many hours yesterday? Like 6 or 7 hours to do this logo. I mean, this thing is a little bit bigger than a quarter. It was the old Pistons, the logo that the Pistons had in the Grant Hill era to match those jerseys. Let's see. Back to OBS. Switch here. Yeah, this logo here, this Pistons logo. I mean, I was hoping to, I had to ship the shoes out today. I was hoping to have them as my display shoe here for the DCF Live because I really like this pair, but I had to send them out. But this Pistons logo, man, this thing took me on both the shoes because it's so tiny. This thing took me like 6, 7 hours yesterday. My thumb still hurts from all the toothpick action going on here. But yeah, I just want to zoom in on picture a quarter, and now all of that's it's not as small as a quarter, a little bit bigger. But damn, when I first looked at this, I did not realize how tiny that was going to be. The design didn't call for it, but I almost wish I would have been able to do the logo on the outside of the shoes much larger. What a badass logo and color scheme. The Pistons need to bring that back. Because man, oh man, that teal and red and yellow. Ooh wee, love it, love it, love it, love it. This I need to do a Jordan 3 with this colorway in the future. But yeah, oh boy, that was a long one yesterday. Let me see here. Super chat comes in from Maldane. My buddy Justin, want to show off how the DCF experience can level you up? Check out my portfolio to see how the pictures evolved. You know what? I got to show that pair off. What's awesome about, you guys see him here all the time in the chat, Maldane Lunas, a.k.a. my buddy Justin Moore. At the DCF experience, we were going around asking everybody, what design do you want to accomplish over the next 2 days? A lot of people said, I'm going to do Black Panther. The night before, unfortunately, was when Chadwick passed away. So 2 guys, Vel and Jason, decided to do a Black Panther theme. We had Bob wanted to do a Shattered Backboard Air Force. We had Mitch wanted to do a glitch theme. We had just a lot of cool themes. And Justin's like, I just want to do something challenging. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to do something hard. And we were talking about it with a couple people were giving him suggestions, ideas, and I can't remember who said it, who came up with it. But he was like, what if I do, what about just a Sugar Skull theme or something like that? And we were trying to get this stencil cut forever because of how intricate it was. We were trying to do it a little bit smaller first, but check out how dope this pair turned out. And what's really cool, we can critique them also because one thing also that I think even Justin would say here is there's a couple things maybe that he would have done differently if he did this pair again. So, okay, let's flip over here. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, he was saying, look at, you'll see the growth over time and how the pictures got better. We went through the floating shoe thing that we did at the course. And look at these. I mean, ooh-wee. So you do have to zoom in to see the Sugar Skull inside, and we'll talk about it. But anyways, the photo, mamma mia, I loved it. You love to see it, folks. So when you zoom in, there's a super intricate sugar skull design in there, and damn does that look good. I love this color palette. As he was putting this together and starting to do some of the background stencils, the color palette was phenomenal. Now originally the sugar skulls were a light gray, medium gray, something like that, and I know he had he laid down the light gray, then he laid down the vinyl to cover up the light gray, and then that's when he did all of the color work of the pale yellow, that sort of orangey color you see, the pink, and then that teal, turquoisey brushstroke pattern that you see. He used some of our brushstroke stencils for this, and damn, is this good use of our brushstroke stencil. Wow, I'm not even sure I've done something that cool with that stencil. But anyways, the sugar skulls were laid out across the shoes. I think there was like essentially 2 to 3 on each side. So somewhere around maybe 5 or 6 on each shoe. And they were light gray. And we sort of talked, as we're looking at his design, you reach a certain point where he's like, okay, Justin's like, I think I'm done with the color and the stencil here. He has, like I said, that yellow, the pinks, the orange, the turquoises, all done. I have my gray underneath. It's time to reveal those stencils. And I said, hey, one thing to potentially consider here that maybe you could do here, I don't think you need to, maybe it's something you could do in the future, is you could add a little bit of a drop shadow around the colors, around the stencil, to make that color pop once you peel that stencil up. Now, what I mean by that, I gotta take a picture of this to actually show and demonstrate this. So I like to be thorough about this stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys an example. Give me 1 sec to take a picture. Cool. Let's get this plugged back in now. Make sure it connects. Okay, trust, yes, my password. Okay, all right, cool. This is a wood board that I made years back. It's just a large piece of wood. What I did was, before I did anything, I cut out a stencil of our logo out of vinyl, covered it up, heat set it down, and then I did all of this pattern around it. And then I said, okay, right before I remove the stencil, I'm going to add a bit of a drop shadow around the stencil. This way the logo is going to pop a little bit. So look around the edges of the logo. You'll see a little bit of that drop shadow. Now, when I peeled that stencil up, it popped a little bit more. So as I'm talking about this design with Justin, we said, hey, I told him I don't think you need to do it now, because I think the light gray would have popped up against all those colors. That light pale yellow, I think, was the first background that he did. And that would have made the sugar skulls pop out a little bit more. Now, mind you, the final color you're seeing here is this sort of, you could maybe call it it's a combination of a pale blue, a gift box blue, this real light blue. But originally that was light gray. It looks better now. I actually like it more than the light gray. But one cool thing to consider there could have been, to make the sugar skulls pop out a little bit more, is right before you peel those stencils up, a drop shadow. And yeah, but look at, man, I am so pumped to have watched these come to life in person. Was really, really, really cool. And yeah, props to you, Justin. He showed me these, he showed these off during the course. These turned out badass too. I can't remember what these are called. Are these the Nike Vandals, maybe? But yeah, this sort of Statue of Liberty theme. I mean, look at how good the patina is on this Statue of Liberty theme. So love how these turned out. This pair was super cool. I mean, these colors are just phenomenal. Love these colors. Love these colors. Love these colors. Yeah. I think a drop shadow around these skulls, the sugar skulls, to make them pop more would have been cool. But like I said, with the story that I was getting at was that it was so awesome that when Justin was thinking about his design, he said, I just want to do something complicated. I want to do something, I want to have a challenge. I want to do something I haven't done before. And to have that mindset going into a course like this, I think is a absolutely phenomenal mindset to want to challenge yourself. You know what I mean? You're paying a lot of money to go and do something like this, and you want to learn, you want to come out better on the other end. And this is, Justin, already look, these first 3 rows are things you've posted since the course. And I think that this is a huge, huge, huge improvement. And future's looking good. Future's looking good. So good stuff, Justin. Okay, we'll do one more question here, and that will be it for us here on this episode of DCF Live. Adam Stars, I'll answer this one just because we have a great video for it. Any advice for people beginning to start customizing shoes on a budget? Yes, take a look. Is it linked? Yes, it's here linked in the description. Click the description of this video. Scroll down a bit. We have a section called Recommended Videos. Second video is called Advice to Begin Your Customizing Journey. I talk about what I would do if I was starting over. I talk about what you should buy if you only have a $100 budget. Definitely check out that video. Really, really pumped about that one. So yeah, okay. Okay, we'll end with this one. Hunter M. Elliott says, I saw a pair of Juice WRLD customs on TikTok where they put the Goodbye and Good Riddance album cover across both shoes. Do you think that would be too difficult for a first custom? I do think that would be a challenge for a first custom, but I don't always think that's it depends on what your artistic background is. If you've never held a paintbrush before, I would say that's too difficult of the first one. And start with simple color blocking. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you've already drawn a lot in the past, if you've painted a lot in the past, and you need a challenge, you don't want, like, just simple color blocking isn't the reason you want to get into customizing shoes, then take on the challenge. You know what I mean? If you feel confident in yourself. But if you're like, hey, I'm worried to start, I'm not sure, you know what I mean? I would say, is that a great place to start? I think it'll be a difficult challenge. It absolutely will. But if you're up for the challenge, go for it. If you think that might be a little too difficult, start out with something similar. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's okay to start off with things that are a little bit simpler and, increase your difficulty over time. So yeah. All right, guys, that is going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of DCF Live. We have a 12 1-ounce bottle paint giveaway currently going on this week's video we posted yesterday. All you need to do in order to enter that giveaway is comment your favorite Angelus paint color in the comment section of that video, not this one. And we'll announce that. Maybe I'll announce that winner over the weekend or maybe Monday. We'll see. But yeah, on Monday, we'll finally be able to announce this collaboration, huge project we spent all week working on. And then the video for it will be out next Wednesday. That video is going to help you guys. You guys are going to take away some good stuff for next week's video. Yeah, it's one that I think, yeah, it's... Sometimes we just do these videos where it's like, this is something that a lot of loyal people have asked for, and it just brings a smile to our face to put that out, knowing that it's going to help them. You know what I mean? Like, there's something very warming to us just knowing that this is something people have asked and struggled with, and we're able to put out a something good that we're proud of that's going to help people. And that's what next week's video is. It's a combination of announcing the project, but there's a very good tutorial portion in the video. So that's all I can really say about it. But yeah, it's a good one. And thank you guys so much for joining us for another one of these. Truly appreciate all you guys. Thank you to my moderators for keeping the chat going, keeping everything running so nice and smooth. Thank you for everybody for sending in those super chats. I wish there was 10 of me and I could answer every single one of your questions. If I didn't get to it, I promise it's never personal. I try to get to as many as humanly possible, but I also try to be very thorough, make sure you really get a great response. and not just a quick one-word answer from me. So thank you guys again. Hope everybody has a great weekend.